Thank you so much for being here, everyone. We're going to get started. To start out, we are honored here to have with us Councilman Imbrodo. I'm going to give him a chance to speak for a couple of minutes here, and then we'll get started with the rest of our ceremony. Thank you. Councilman?
How's everybody doing tonight? I am Lou Imbrodo, and I am the brand new councilman here in the town of Oyster Bay. And I'm here on behalf of Supervisor Joe Saladino and the entire town board to honor all of the inductees on the Wall of Fame this year. I have citations for everybody, and I will be giving citations to the families of Michael Russell and Dr. Wolk, and I have a citation here for Heather Parisi as well. So I don't know if you want to do them now and we can take pictures, or... And on behalf of Joseph Saladino, the supervisor, and the entire Oyster Bay Town Board, I just want to congratulate all the inductees and their families for this great honor, being inducted to the Wall of Fame year. I know that Farmingdale has a lot of local pride, and I think this is going to be a great honor for you and your families. So thank you very much.
Ms. Parisi? Family, if you want to come up, or one of you, or Miss Russell. Dr. Tawaf's family, Miss Cardillo. Daughter.
Good evening and welcome to the Farmingdale School District's 20th Annual Wall of Fame Induction Ceremony. Let's all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Good evening. It is wonderful to see so many of you here today as we honor 3 alumni for their outstanding dedication and prove that once a Daler, always a Daler. In the event of an emergency, please exit through either of the doors on the sides of the lecture hall. There is an exit off the stage as well.
Good evening. My name is Mrs. DePiro, and I'm proud to be one of the assistant principals of this very fine high school, as well as the chairperson for the Wall of Fame Selection Committee. I am pleased to be joined on stage by 2 wonderfully dedicated students and my assistants for the evening, Amor Ford and Allison Beltran Amaya.
Our Wall of Fame is located near the main entrance of our high school. There are 73 plaques, 1 for each person inducted since 1998. We are welcome to take a closer look at the plaques of our alumni after tonight's ceremony.
Just like our classmates, the Wall of Fame is a very talented group of men and women who have been first responders, veterans, educators, chefs, doctors, entertainers, artists, business owners, and so much more. But all are excellent role models who show us that with hard work and determination, we can turn our true passion into a successful career.
It is our hope that today's students will be inspired by our inductees to pursue their dreams and strive to one day be honored for their own accomplishments in a future Wall of Fame ceremony. Today we honor 3 Dalers, Miss Heather Parisi from the class of 1987, Police Officer Michael D. Russell from the class of 1967, and Dr. Diane M. Wolk from the class of 1968. Each year, the selection committee meets to review nearly 50 applications to select a couple of people most deserving of this honor. I would like to thank our selection committee for the hours they devoted to this project. It is because of your dedication and support that our Wall of Fame is something we can all be proud of. On behalf of the Wall of Fame Selection Committee, I would like to thank our Board of Ed members, our Central Office Administration, our Principal, Dr. Thompson, my fellow Assistant Principal, Ms. Martinez, and everyone else in the building who has supported us for all of their support. Tonight, we will hear from several of our current students who are journalists for our school newspaper, the Paper Lion. They will have the privilege of not only introducing our honorees tonight, but would also like to write about their accomplishments for our school paper. I now introduce you to Elena Camisa, who will introduce our first honoree, Ms. Heather Parisi.
Ms. Parisi graduated from Farmingdale High School in 1987. After graduation, Ms. Parisi attended Binghamton University and the Fashion Institute of Technology. But it wasn't until a 2011 African excursion that Ms. Parisi discovered her true passion. It was then that Heather became the founder and CEO of a nonprofit organization called Fitness for Africa, which developed a fitness program called Flip to Be Fit. In 2013, in northern Uganda, Fitness for Africa opened the Pearl of Hope School, a fully operational nursery school. The teachers of the school, through the support and guidance of Ms. Parisi, ensure that each child receives daily meals, participates in fitness education, and has access to an innovative core curriculum. Ms. Parisi developed unique Flip to Be Fit educational games to introduce and reinforce healthy habits for our students. In addition to the Pearl of Hope School, the program also focuses on providing educational scholarships and literacy programs for the adult community and facilitates a pen pal system to bring together the communities in Uganda. Thank you.
Ms. Parisi was nominated by 2 different committee members who didn't even realize that the other put in an application for Heather. This is the first time we received 2 different applications for the same person. But once you get to know a little more about Heather Parisi, you will quickly come to understanding why nominating her for the Wall of Fame was such a good idea. Please welcome Donna Campbell and Tina Diamond to the podium to tell us more about why they nominated Ms. Parisi.
Thank you, students. And thank you to the Board of Ed to continue this great event from all Dalers, as myself, and to all the candidates, congratulations. Heather Parisi. When a fork in the road derailed her life forever, Heather Parisi became an inspiration to herself and lots of others. While in Farmingdale Middle School, Heather Parisi, Farmingdale class of '87, was in her mind on a sure road to represent her country and perform in the Olympics as a medal-winning gymnast. As life would have it, her dream was shattered, as well as her bones, when at 12 years old, she suffered a horrific broken leg, followed by a terrible limp. At such a young, vulnerable stage of life, now her future looking bleak, Heather's lowered self-esteem catapulted an eating disorder that lasted 2 decades. She had to go throughout high school and college with these disabilities. Heather knew firsthand all about bullying and being shunned by young adults. Little did she know then that the heartbreaking part of her life would be the foundation of her strength and life-learning message to young students. Through some major medical techniques and caring support of her parents, Cheryl and Nick, her leg bone was fixed and her limp was gone, and she did overcome the eating disorder. Heather left college before graduation with a profound understanding of body and mind, health, fitness, and nutrition. Feeling stronger, she wanted to help others to overcome adversity and to feel better about themselves. So, on a random trip to Africa, to see the endangered silverback gorillas and the poor homeless children of Uganda, she felt the need to help these children and developed a nursery school to introduce the foundations of education, nutrition, and health with nutritious food and physical fitness, and to open the minds of this tribal community to a healthy lifestyle. The Pearl of Hope Nursery School was opened in 2013, and children are still lined up to receive the benefit of a good education and a healthy lifestyle that has now been provided where there was none. There she teaches the kids to rise above their circumstance and thrive. Here on the home front in Farmingdale, I introduced Heather to Farmingdale High School Director Stanley Pellick. Mr. Pellick recognized the powerful message that this former Dale grad had to offer to our students. Through a day of presentations, Heather told her story of courage, resilience, and life-altering moments to more than 1,000 Farmingdale High School students. The message was a powerful one. No one's future is certain. Today you sit in this school and ready yourself for college or a good job, and then you blink and it changes. Life happens, she told them. She told them of being bullied in school and feeling insufficient and not fitting in with your peers. The students were mesmerized, quiet, and totally in sync with what she was saying. She got to them because she knew what they are going through in their young lives. And she speaks right before them, successful and still standing. She has not only helped those children overseas, but she has helped our students here as well with this inspirational message that you are not strange, you are not alone in what you're feeling, and you can be what you want to be by staying strong and moving forward. This is the best lesson our students could ever get. And now Mrs. Campbell, a phys ed teacher at Howard Middle School, with the students' reaction to Heather's message, we both did not know that we were nominating the same person. Thank you very much.
Good evening. In an effort to bring her global work closer to home, Heather has begun to forge a school-to-world partnership with the students at Howard Middle School. The initiative began last year as the 7th grade students at Howard were reading the novel A Long Walk to Water in their ELA classes. During one of Heather's visits, well, we had asked her ahead of time, and during one of her visits to the school, she shot a mini documentary about the burden that the students in particular of her village face every day in gaining access to clean water. During the assembly, Heather presented the video to the students. The result was an immediate connection from the pages in the book to the real images and obstacles facing the students in Uganda. This unique, realistic perspective was brought home to the students via the film Heather had created, and the book came to life in front of them. What unfolded was an incredible teaching moment. Heather spoke to the students about her journey, her vision, her plans, her revisions, her sacrifices, her failures, and the perseverance that did not let her rest until her dream was realized. One of the most significant moments of the assembly happened after it was over. I was able to watch as teachers and students alike approached Heather and had to know more. They had to know how and why she undertook a mission to build a school in a remote part of the world. The students in particular were very interested in the faces of the kids they saw in the school. Some of our students and teachers were visibly emotional at the end of the assembly, but all of the students and teachers came away with two things. Number one is that leaving a mark, your mark in this world, takes many shapes and forms. What will your contribution be? And the second thing was that Heather, who has built a school halfway around the world, has walked the same halls as they have. She shares the same Farmingdale roots with them, but she has spread her wings globally, just as each one of the students are capable of doing. That's why the message was so profound. Following the assembly, the 7th graders put together a school supply fundraiser in which boxes of donated items were personally brought to the Pearl of Hope School by Heather. The same group of students also designated the Pearl of Hope School to be the recipient of the money that was raised last year at their annual walkathon. Going forward, Heather has envisioned this Pearl of Hope School as being adopted by students here in Farmingdale. I know myself and Tina, who have come to know Heather, would love to see our students cultivate a relationship with the students in the Pearl of Hope School. This would be a win-win partnership. I know because I have seen how it benefited the students of the Pearl of Hope School with our donations, and I have seen what it has brought out in our own students, a sense of ownership, empathy, global awareness, and pride in working together toward a common goal. We encourage all of you that are here tonight as members in one form or another of this Farmingdale community to reach out to Heather, students, teachers, administrators, community business members, parents. If something we spoke about has resonated with you, let's put our heads together and try to further the partnership between our school community and Heather's Pearl of Hope School. Selflessness, compassion, fortitude, smarts, and a true desire to give of herself simply so that others can receive are qualities that make Heather Parisi worthy of this honored induction. Tina and I believe that as parents, educators, and residents of this wonderful community, we need to look no further for an alum that has embodied all that we hope for in our own children and students. She has left her mark on Layla Obaro Uganda, and she has made Farmingdale proud to call her our own. Tonight, Heather takes her place among the finest who have walked the halls here at Farmingdale, people who have gone on to accomplish remarkable things. The Pearl of Hope School is one of those remarkable things. Finally, Heather and the other newly inducted Wall of Fame members have set the bar high for future Farmingdale alumni. We hope these great inductees have inspired some to follow in their footsteps of making lasting contributions to their chosen fields and endeavors. Congratulations, Heather.
Ms. Parisi, please come up and accept this flag on behalf of the entire Farmingdale School community.
There you go.
Thank you. Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Donna. I didn't know what to expect. It's really quite overwhelming to be so incredibly accepted and understood by so many people just for doing something that comes from your heart. It really was a simple trip. I went to see some animals. I really did. And while I was there, I met someone who survived an incredible, difficult, torturous event in life. And his journey changed my life and opened up a world to me that's just continuously making me a better person every day. And I'm truly blessed and honored to be able to share it with as many people as I do, and to get the support of my mom, my dad, and my entire family. Because it's not an easy journey. Every single day something happens that puts another brick wall in front of you that you have to try to get over. But I guess the one thing I learn every day is that believing in myself and believing in this journey that I'm on is just something you continue doing through resilience inside and just the positive energy that everyone deserves to be healthy and everyone deserves to have an opportunity like we had. I didn't grow up within a difficult life or an easy life. I grew up with a normal childhood that had difficulties in it. But knowing that you have the right to go and try to do something, and knowing you have that right to be just as good as everybody else, whether they have opportunity or not, is really what I want every child that I touch in Africa to know, that they have just as much a right as everybody else, and we all should have a healthy and happy existence. So whatever your dreams are, don't give up on them. However difficult it may seem, however impossible it may be, it's your dream. Don't give up, go after it. It's yours to make real. Somehow, mine is becoming real every day. And having these two women put me in for this just truly brought me to tears tonight. But thank you, everyone, for just believing in me and continuing to support this incredible dream that I'm on. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Parisi, and congratulations.
Now I'd like to introduce you to Alexandra George, our paper lion journalist, who will introduce our second nominee, Mr. Michael D. Russell, who unfortunately is being bestowed this honor posthumously.
Good evening. We welcome Police Officer Russell's family and friends here tonight and regret that he will not be able to join us and accept this honor. In August of 1979, Police Officer Russell was doing what he did best, having fun and playing softball with some other off-duty officers and members of the community he served, when three young men strolled across the softball field and rudely interrupted the game. An argument between a player in the outfield and the young men started when the three men wouldn't leave the field. One of the young men pulled out a gun and fatally shot that player. Police Officer Russell, who was off-duty and unarmed at the time, chased the young man for several blocks in an attempt to arrest him. But in the backyard of a nearby home, Officer Russell was also shot and killed, leaving behind a grieving wife and two small children. Due to his bravery, Officer Russell was posthumously awarded an honorable mention and a Medal of Honor by the NYPD. Police Officer Russell will be forever remembered by his family, his friends, and now this school community for his heroism.
Police Officer Russell was nominated by Ms. Linda Krumanacher, a devoted Farmingdale community member who knows very well how important it is for our students to have strong role models. Mr. Chris Sahlberg will be speaking on behalf of Ms. Krumanacher tonight. Mr. Sahlberg.
Hello, everybody. I'm here. I'm not too good at speaking in front of people here. My name is Chris Sahlberg. I was one of Mike's first friends when he moved here, and just wanted to tell you basically what kind of guy he was. He was a great guy. Let me tell you some of the things about Mike. Mike was a Yankee fan. I was a Met fan. We went at it really good. Back in the mid-'60s, though, when neither team did anything. Mike played any sport, all sports, and he could run. He was fast as hell. One of my favorite stories is we used to go to the school bus stop every morning before school. All the guys would get together, and we would play touch football before the bus came. And we'd do this every day. Mike would never play. He would just stay on the sideline. We'd just go. I knew he could play, and I knew he was really good at it, but he just wouldn't play. So finally, after a couple of weeks, I said, Mike, why don't you play? And he turned around to me and he looked at me like I was weird and said, listen, you see all the good-looking girls in this bus stop? You go play. All right? I'll talk to the girls. That was Mike. But the most important thing of Mike's was his wife, Grace, his daughter Jessica, and his son Donald. That was Mike's whole life, and that was his. That's the way Mike was. Mike really liked being a cop too. It's not the fact that he could arrest people. It was doing the right thing. He liked helping people, and that's the way he was. If you met Mike, you would know him, you would like him, you wouldn't forget him, and you would always remember him. He was a real guy, real good, great guy. Because I haven't forgotten him, he'll always be right here. And I just would like to thank the committee for bringing Mike to this point, and thank everybody for coming.
Mr. Russell and the entire Farmingdale school community would like you to please come up and accept this plaque on behalf of your father and all of your friends and family here with us tonight.
I made Mr. Sauber promise not to make me cry before I started talking. Close. Well, thank you very much. I'd like to thank the Wall of Fame Executive Committee, Mr. Chris Sauber, who I've known since birth, for his kind words, and a very special thank you to Mrs. Krumenacker for nominating my father in the first place. When I first learned that my father was going to be included on Farmingdale's Wall of Fame, I was honored. And then when I realized I was going to give this acceptance speech, I was terrified. My father moved to Farmingdale during his senior year of high school, and he had moved here from Howard Beach, Queens. Although he didn't spend a lot of time here as a Daler in Farmingdale High School, he was a true Daler. As Mr. Sauberg said, he was a huge sports enthusiast. At the time of his death, he was off-duty playing softball. I grew up hearing stories about him playing all types of sports, from pickup basketball to ice hockey, which is not something that I followed with him, and as well as running fast, not my side either. If that doesn't have a Daler written all over it, though, his love for sports and his passion for sports, then I don't really know what does, because this town, as great as it is a very big sports town, as we know, and he fit in very well. After my mother and father were married, they moved to Queens for a short while, and then when it was time to have children, they decided to come back to Farmingdale. And the house I grew up in was actually my father's house that he lived in when he moved to Farmingdale, around the corner from Mrs. Sauberg, and they continued to live there until I was about 20 years old. Fortunately, my father, was killed a few years later. Since then, we have 4 of my aunts, 2 of my uncles have graduated from Farmingdale. My sister and I have graduated to come back and teach here. Stop. Sorry. As well as my sister and I. Currently, my niece and my nephew are in Farmingdale, and I won't embarrass them, but they're at Howitt and Albany Avenue now. My aunt is due to retire from Albany Avenue in a few months. And 2 of my cousins are Dalers as well. One is here, I won't embarrass her, and the other one's at college. My father didn't spend a lot of time here as a student in Farmingdale, but his legacy has lived on through the family that has been here for now going on 3 generations. Recently this summer, my cousin Nicholas, who is not with us here tonight, he is an Eagle Scout, and part of his Eagle Scout, his final Eagle Scout project, he dedicated a part of Allen Park to my father. So a plaque is there, a garden and a bench, and it was an honor for all of us because it's the first time outside of his precinct that we really had any dedication. So, sorry. So since the creation of the Wall of Fame, I went to school here for 4 years, and I've taught here for, I believe, 16 at this point, or 15. And I walk past those pictures every day, and it fills me with a great sense of pride. I see people that I know, people, obviously, I'm related to now, so people whose children I know, and people I don't know. And it just fills me with a sense of pride every day to know that this community respects and shows respect to those who came through here. Even more the respect the communities have shown, like I said, for the people that walk these halls. So on behalf of my family and all our friends and everybody else, I'd like to thank you all for this extreme honor.
Thank you, Mr. Russell, and congratulations to your father and your family.
Now we would like to introduce you to Rebecca Williamson, our student journalist who will be writing about Dr. Diane M. Wolk.
Dr. Diane Wolk graduated Farmingdale High School in 1968 and went on to become a gifted reading teacher who was later chosen for the Vermont Outstanding Teacher of the Year Award in 1984. But Dr. Wolk didn't stop there. She later became an elementary school principal, earned her doctorate in educational leadership, became a college professor, and then was hired as the director of student teaching at Castleton University. From 1993 to 1999, Dr. Wolk even served as a chairwoman of the Vermont State Board of Education. Unfortunately, her successful 34-year career in education was cut short when on her 57th birthday, she was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's disease. Although devastated by the news, Dr. Wolk chose to support the 5 million other Americans living with the disease by courageously signing up for an experimental treatment in the hopes that, at the very least, it would advance the treatment options for other sufferers. Dr. Wolk also raised over $10,000 for additional Alzheimer's research. Dr. Wolk passed away from complications related to her early onset Alzheimer's disease at the young age of 64.
Thank you, Rebecca. Dr. Wolk was nominated by her sister, Miss Lane Cardillo. Miss Cardillo.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here and for honoring my sister. Thank you, Farmingdale Senior High School, for allowing this to take place this evening. Really meant a lot to my mom, especially, who wanted this for my sister. My sister was an amazing person, and she is a more amazing teacher. And there are people in this world who choose teaching as a vocation. It's something they go to school for. It's something that they do as their profession, and they benefit many, many people in doing so. And then there's other types of teachers, and those are the teachers who may not choose it as their profession, but just by living their life, they become teachers. And they're the people that you just always feel good to be around, and they just lift you up and empower you just by their presence of being. My sister was both of those kinds of teachers. She could do both. She was an amazing educational teacher, but she was an amazing person as well, especially once that devastating disease became her diagnosis. She chose another teachable moment to use this disease and to take a bad situation and make it into something positive for hopefully other people down the road. There's many stories I could share about her, but one of my favorites, and it has to do with her teaching, was she was only 22 when she graduated college. She had her first teaching job already planned by the time she graduated, and it was in a small school in a mountain in Vermont. And she was only there for a short time, and this was in the 1960s, and or actually early 1970s, and when miniskirts were very much in vogue and short dresses were in vogue. And so she, like many 22-year-olds, got up to go to work in the morning, realized she had nothing clean to wear, and the only thing hanging in her closet was a dress that my other sister Linda had made for her. And she loved that dress, but it had to be very, very short. So she decided to wear it to school anyway because it was all she had. So while she was in the middle of giving her penmanship lesson in her class, the board of director comes in, of the student, the education board of director came in to basically evaluate her. And she was mortified because she knew that if she reached up to write on the blackboard, the students, probably he himself, would get an eyeful that she didn't plan to have. So instead she squatted down and she drew the lines on the board, and she did her whole lesson as she was squatting down. And while she was continuing to teach, he wrote something on a piece of paper, left it on her desk and left, and she was mortified because she thought, oh my gosh, I'm gonna lose my job. She goes, and he had very nice things to say. He said, it's nice to see a teacher so dedicated that they actually lower themselves to their students' level in order to teach their lesson. And the reason I love that story so much is because that's how people saw Diane. They saw the best in her, but they saw the best in her because she saw the best in others. And that's the legacy that she left to all of her students and our family and everyone who ever knew her. And her spirit lives on in these halls. It lives on everywhere I go. I talk to her every day, and I'm just so proud of her, and I'm so immensely grateful to all of you for honoring her. Thank you.
Ms. Cardillo, the entire Farmingdale school community would like you to accept this plaque on behalf of Diane. Your entire family, and especially Diane's mother, who we here is so proud to have your daughter chosen for the Wall of Fame. Thank you, Ms. Cardillo. Congratulations.
Thank you to all of our speakers here tonight, and congratulations to Ms. Parisi and the families of Police Officer Russell and Dr. Wolk. We are fortunate enough to have with us tonight Supervisor Saladino, who I invite to the podium to make some remarks now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll be brief, and I certainly can't match what we heard tonight. Very, very heartfelt. But the people of our town honor Heather Parisi, Michael Russell, and Dr. Diane Wolk. To their families, you are among the pride of our community. The lessons learned by our students, and quite frankly, each and every one of us, have been great this evening. It's no surprise in a school district that makes such a tremendous difference in the lives of others that people continue to give, both here and posthumously. So on behalf of Lou and Brodo, our councilman, as well as Deputy Mayor Christensen and the other elected officials, we say congratulations. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of this. We have town certificates that I believe the councilman has already presented. But most of all, thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you for being great Dalers. It means a lot to be a Daler, and we especially have tremendous respect for the honorees and their families for reminding us of the importance of caring for others. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you for having us here tonight.
Thank you so much, Supervisor. Pulling together a ceremony like this is truly a team effort, and I have to say that I'm blessed to have a winning team. Thank you so much to our student speakers tonight and our musicians who were in the lobby today. They did such a beautiful job. Thank you for lending us your talent tonight. And thank you to the teachers who helped me arrange to have these students here today, including Miss Pelletieri, who was out playing the music with her students today. I couldn't do this without my wonderful secretary, Miss Victoria Knoll, and our custodial staff, Mr. Hassett, Mr. Osborne, and Mr. Cavallo. Thank you for assisting me in all aspects of tonight's program. But thank you most of all to the community members who believe in the power of the Wall of Fame and take the time to nominate deserving honorees for this very special honor. Congratulations to our inductees and their families tonight. We're so pleased to have you here today and are so excited to add such inspirational people to the Wall of Fame. We will share your inspirational stories and messages with our students. Our honorees tonight have proven that a lion paces in the heart of every Daler. We welcome you now at this point to take a closer look at the Wall of Fame out by our guidance office in the lobby. and take some additional pictures, and also to enjoy some refreshments. Thank you so much, everyone.